Present-day Benin was the site of Dahomey, a West African kingdom that rose to prominence in about 1600 and over the next 2.5 centuries became a regional power, largely based on its slave trade. Coastal areas of Dahomey began to be controlled by the French in the second half of the 19th century. The entire kingdom was conquered by 1894. French Dahomey achieved independence in 1960. It changed its name to the Republic of Benin in 1975.
A succession of military governments ended in 1972 with the rise to power of Matthew Kareku and the establishment of a government based on Marxist-Leninist principles. A move to representative government began in 1989. 2 years later, free elections ushered in former Prime Minister Nisef Osogbo as president, marking the first successful transfer of power in Africa from a dictatorship to a democracy. Kareku was returned to power by elections held in 1996 and 2001, though some irregularities were alleged. Kareku stepped down at the end of his second term in 2006 and was succeeded by Thomas Iboni, a political outsider and independent, who won his second 5-year term in March 2011. Patrice Talon, a wealthy businessman, took office in 2016 after campaigning to restore public confidence in the government.
Geography.
Benin.
Location: Western Africa, bordering the Bight of Benin, between Nigeria and Togo.
Geographic coordinates: 930 N, 215 E.
Map references: Africa.
Area total:
112,622 square kilometers.
Land:
110,622 square kilometers.
Water:
2,000 square kilometers.
Country comparison to the world:
103.
Area comparative: slightly smaller than Pennsylvania.
Land boundaries: total
2,123 kilometers.
Border countries: 4.
Burkina Faso 386 kilometers, Niger 277 kilometers, Nigeria 809 kilometers, Togo 651 kilometers.
Coastline: 121 kilometers.
Maritime claims: territorial sea
200 nanometers.
Continental shelf
200 nanometers.
Exclusive fishing zone
200 nanometers.
Climate: tropical, hot, humid in south, semi-arid in north.
Terrain: mostly flat to undulating plain, some hills and low mountains.
Elevation: mean elevation
273 meters.
Elevation extremes:
0 meters lowest point.
Atlantic Ocean
658 highest point.
Montsogboro.
Natural resources: small offshore oil deposits, limestone, marble, timber.
Land use: agricultural land
31.3%.
Arable land
22.9%, permanent crops.
3.5% /permanent pasture
4.9%,
forest
40%,
other
28.7%.
irrigated land 230 square kilometers.
Population distribution: the population is primarily located in the south, with the highest concentration of people residing in and around the cities on the Atlantic coast. Most of the north remains sparsely populated with higher concentrations of residents in the west.
Natural hazards: hot, dry, dusty Hamadan wind may affect north from December to March.
Environment: current issues: inadequate supplies of potable water, water pollution, poaching threatens wildlife populations, deforestation, desertification. The spread of the desert into agricultural lands in the north is accelerated by regular droughts.
Environment: international agreements, Party 2.
Biodiversity: climate change, Kyoto Protocol, desertification, endangered species, environmental modification, hazardous wastes, law of the sea, ozone layer protection, ship pollution, wetlands, whaling.
Signed, but not ratified.
None of the selected agreements.
Geography: note, sandbanks create difficult access to a coast with no natural harbors, river mouths, or islands.
People and society.
Benin.
Population: 11,340,504.
Note:
estimates for this country explicitly take into account the effects of excess mortality due to AIDS. This can result in lower life expectancy, higher infant mortality, higher death rates, lower population growth rates, and changes in the distribution of population by age and sex than would otherwise be expected.
Country comparison to the world.
79.
Nationality: noun.
Beninese, singular and plural.
Adjective:
Beninese.
Ethnic groups: Fon-unrelated 38.4%, Badjo-unrelated 15.1%, Yoruba-unrelated 12%, Bariba unrelated 9.6%, Fulani unrelated 8.6%, Otomari unrelated 6.1%, Yoalokpa unrelated 4.3%, Dendi unrelated 2.9%, other 0.9%, foreigner 1.9%.
Languages: French, official, Fon and Yoruba, most common vernaculars in South. Tribal languages, at least 6 major ones in North.
Religions: Muslim 27.7%, Roman Catholic 25.5%, Protestant 13.5%, Celestial 6.7%, Methodist 3.4%, other Protestant 3.4%, Vodun 11.6%, other Christian 9.5%, other traditional religions 2.6%, other 2.6%, non 5.8%.
Demographic profile: Benin has a youthful age structure. Almost 65% of the population is under the age of 25, which is bolstered by high fertility and population growth rates. Benin's total fertility has been falling over time but remains high, declining from almost 7 children per woman in 1990 to 4.8 in 2016. Benin's low contraceptive use and high unmet need for contraception contribute to the sustained high fertility rate. Although the majority of Beninese women use skilled healthcare personnel for antenatal care and delivery, the high rate of maternal mortality indicates the need for more access to high-quality obstetric care.
Poverty, unemployment, increased living costs, and dwindling resources increasingly drive the Benins to migrate. An estimated 4.4 million, more than 40%, of Benins live abroad. Virtually all Benin's immigrants move to West African countries, particularly Nigeria and Côte d'Ivoire. Of the less than 1% of Benin's immigrants who settle in Europe, the vast majority live in France, Benin's former colonial ruler.
With about 40% of the population living below the poverty line, many desperate parents resort to sending their children to work in wealthy households as domestic servants, a common practice known as vidomigan, mines, quarries, or agriculture domestically or in Nigeria and other neighboring countries, often under brutal conditions. Unlike in other West African countries, where rural people move to the coast, farmers from Benin's densely populated southern and northwestern regions move to the historically sparsely populated central region to pursue agriculture. Immigrants from West African countries came to Benin in increasing numbers between 1992 and 2002 because of its political stability and porous borders.
Age structure: 0 to 14 years.
42.26%. Male 2,445,265 / female 2,347,091.
15 to 24 years.
20.53%. Male 1,184,977 / female 1,143,605.
25 to 54 years.
30.66%. Male 1,759,834 / female 1,717,467.
55 to 64 years.
3.65%. Male 184,453 / female 229,945.
65 years and over.
2.89%. Male 128,920 / female 198,947.
Population pyramid.
Population pyramid.
Dependency ratios.
Dependency ratios are a measure of the age structure of a population. They relate the number of individuals that are likely to be economically dependent on the support of others. Dependency ratios contrast the ratio of youths, ages 0-14, and the elderly, ages 65 plus, to the number of those in the working age group, ages 15-64. Changes in the dependency ratio provide an indication of potential social support requirements resulting from changes in population age structures. As a fertility lever. More dependency ratios field listing.
Total dependency ratio:
86.1.
Youth dependency ratio:
80.1.
Elderly dependency ratio:
6.
Potential support ratio:
16.6.
Median age total:
18.4 years.
Male:
18.1 years.
Female:
18.7 years.
Country comparison to the world.
209.
Population growth rate.
The average annual percent change in the population, resulting from a surplus, or deficit, of births over deaths and the balance of migrants entering and leaving a country. The rate may be positive or negative. The growth rate is a factor in determining how great a burden would be imposed on a country by the changing needs of its people for infrastructure, for example, schools, hospitals, housing, roads, resources, for example, food, water, electricity, and jobs. Rapid population growth can be seen as more population growth rate field listing
2.68%.
Country comparison to the world.
16.
Birth rate 34.5 births out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world.
22.
Death rate 7.7 deaths out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world.
99.
Net migration rate 0 migrants out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world.
74.
Population distribution. The population is primarily located in the south, with the highest concentration of people residing in and around the cities on the Atlantic coast. Most of the north remains sparsely populated with higher concentrations of residents in the west.
Urbanization. Urban population.
47.3% of total population.
Rate of urbanization.
3.89% annual rate of change.
Major urban areas. Population 285,000 Porto Novo, capital, 685,000 Cotonou, seat of government, 928,000 Abomey-Calavi.
Sex ratio at birth
1.05 male/s/female,
0 to 14 years.
1.04 male/s/female,
15 to 24 years.
1.04 male/s/female,
25 to 54 years.
1.02 male/s/female,
55 to 64 years.
0.76 male/s/female,
65 years and over.
0.66 male/s/female,
Total population.
1.01 male/s/female.
Mother's mean age at first birth 20.3 years.
Note:
Median age at first birth among women 25 to 29.
Maternal mortality rate.
The maternal mortality rate, MMR, is the annual number of female deaths per 100,000 live births from any cause related to or aggravated by pregnancy or its management, excluding accidental or incidental causes. The MMR includes deaths during pregnancy, childbirth, or within 42 days of termination of pregnancy, irrespective of the duration and site of the pregnancy, for a specified year. Maternal mortality rate field listing.
405 deaths/100,000 live births.
Country comparison to the world.
26.
Infant mortality rate, total.
51.5 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
Male.
54.5 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
Female.
48.3 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
Country comparison to the world.
24.
Life expectancy at birth, total population.
62.7 years.
Male.
61.2 years.
Female.
64.2 years.
Country comparison to the world.
198.
Total fertility rate, 4.67 children born/woman.
Country comparison to the world.
22.
Contraceptive prevalence rate.
This field gives the percent of women of reproductive age, 15 to 49, who are married or in union and are using, or whose sexual partner is using, a method of contraception according to the date of the most recent available data. The contraceptive prevalence rate is an indicator of health services, development, and women's empowerment. It is also useful in understanding past, present, and future fertility trends, especially in developing countries. Contraceptive prevalence rate field listing.
17.9%.
Health expenditures, 4.6% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
154.
Physicians density, 0.15 physicians out of 1,000 population.
Hospital bed density, 0.5 beds out of 1,000 population.
Drinking water source, improved.
Urban,
85.2% of population.
rural,
72.1% of population.
total,
77.9% of population.
unimproved,
Urban,
14.8% of population.
rural,
27.9% of population.
total.
22.1% of population.
Sanitation facility access, improved.
Urban.
35.6% of population.
Rural.
7.3% of population.
Total.
19.7% of population.
Unimproved.
Urban.
64.4% of population.
Rural.
92.7% of population.
Total.
80.3% of population.
HIV/AIDS, adult prevalence rate, 1%.
Country comparison to the world.
44.
HIV/AIDS, people living with HIV/AIDS, 70,000.
Country comparison to the world.
50.
HIV/AIDS, deaths, 2,500.
Country comparison to the world.
45.
Major infectious diseases, degree of risk.
Very high.
Food or waterborne diseases.
Bacterial and protozoal diarrhea, hepatitis A, and typhoid fever.
Vector-borne diseases.
Dengue fever, malaria, and yellow fever.
Animal contact diseases.
Rabies.
Respiratory diseases.
Meningococcal meningitis.
Obesity. Adult prevalence rate, 9.6%.
Country comparison to the world.
142.
Children under the age of 5 years underweight, 18%.
Country comparison to the world.
32.
Education expenditures, 4.4% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
97.
Literacy. Definition.
Age 15 and over can read and write.
Total population.
38.4%.
Male.
49.9%.
Female.
27.3%.
School life expectancy. Primary to tertiary education.
School life expectancy, SLE, is the total number of years of schooling, primary to tertiary, that a child can expect to receive, assuming that the probability of his or her being enrolled in school at any particular future age is equal to the current enrollment ratio at that age. Caution must be maintained when utilizing this indicator in international comparisons. For example, a year or grade completed in one country is not necessarily the same in terms of educational content or quality. More school life expectancy, primary to tertiary education, field listing.
Total.
12 years.
Male.
14 years.
Female.
11 years.
Unemployment, youth ages 15-24. Total.
5.6%.
Male.
5.2%.
Female.
5.9%.
Country comparison to the world.
152.
Government.
Benin.
Country name. Conventional long form.
Republic of Benin.
Conventional short form.
Benin.
Local long form.
République du Benin.
Local short form.
Benin.
Former.
Dahomey. People's Republic of Benin.
Etymology.
Named for the Bight of Benin, the body of water on which the country lies.
Government type. Presidential republic.
Capital. Name.
Porto Novo. Constitutional capital. Cotonou. Seat of government.
Geographic coordinates.
629 N, 237 E.
Time difference.
UTC +1, 6 hours ahead of Washington, D.C., during standard time.
Administrative divisions. 12 departments. Alabori, Etakura, Atlantique, Borgu, Collins, Kofo, Donga, Littoral, Mono, Plateau, Zoo.
Independence.
For most countries, this entry gives the date that sovereignty was achieved and from which nation, empire, or trusteeship. For the other countries, the date given may not represent independence in the strict sense, but rather some significant nationhood event such as the traditional founding date or the date of unification, federation, confederation, establishment, fundamental change in the form of government, or state succession. For a number of countries, the establishment of statehood. More independence field listing.
The 1st of August 1960, from France.
National holiday. Independence Day, the 1st of August, 1960.
Constitution. History.
Previous 1946, 1958. Pre-independence. Latest adopted by referendum the 2nd of December 1990. Promulgated the 11th of December 1990.
Amendments.
Proposed concurrently by the President of the Republic, after a decision in the Council of Ministers, and the National Assembly. Consideration of drafts or proposals requires at least 3/4 majority vote of the Assembly membership. Passage requires approval in a referendum unless approved by at least 4/5 majority vote of the Assembly membership. Constitutional articles affecting territorial sovereignty, the republican form of government, and secularity of Benin cannot be amended.
Legal system. Civil law system modelled largely on the French system and some customary law.
International Law Organization participation has not submitted an ICJ jurisdiction declaration, Accept sick jurisdiction.
Citizenship. Citizenship by birth.
No.
Citizenship by descent only.
At least one parent must be a citizen of Benin.
Dual citizenship recognized.
Yes.
Residency requirement for naturalization.
10 years.
Suffrage. 18 years of age. Universal.
Executive branch. Chief of State.
President Patrice Talon, since the 6th of April 2016. Note: the President is both Chief of State and Head of Government.
Head of Government.
President Patrice Talon, since the 6th of April 2016. Prime Minister position abolished.
Cabinet.
Council of Ministers appointed by the President.
Elections/appointments.
President directly elected by absolute majority popular vote in 2 rounds if needed for a 5-year term. Eligible for a second term, last held on 6 March and the 20th of March 2016, next to be held in 2021.
Election results.
Patrice Talon elected president in second round, percent of vote in first round. Lionel Zinsou, FCBE 28.4%, Patrice Talon, independent 24.8%, Sebastian Adjuvan, independent 23%, Abdoulaye Biochain, ABT 8.8%, Pascal Koupaki, NC 5.9%, other 9.1%, of vote in second round, Patrice Talon 65.4%, Lionel Zinsou 34.6%.
Legislative branch. Description.
Unicameral National Assembly or Assemblée Nationale, 83 seats. Members directly elected in multi-seat constituencies by proportional representation vote. Members serve 4-year terms.
Elections.
Last held on the 26th of April 2015. Next to be held in April 2019.
Election results.
Percent of vote by party, FCBE 30.2%, UN 14.4%, PRD 10.6%, and 7.6%, RBRP 7.1%, other 30.1%, seats by party, FCBE 33, UN 13, PRD 10, RBRP 7, and 5, other 15, composition, men 77, women 6%, of women 7.2%.
Judicial branch. Highest courts.
Supreme Court or Cour Supreme, consists of the court president and 3 chamber presidents organized into an administrative division, judicial chamber, and chamber of accounts. Constitutional Court or Cour Constitutionnelle, consists of 7 members including the court president. High Court of Justice, consists of the Constitutional Court members, 6 members appointed by the National Assembly, and the Supreme Court President. Note: jurisdiction of the High Court of Justice is limited to cases of high treason by the National President or members of the government while in office.
Judge selection in term of office.
Supreme Court President and judges appointed by the National President upon the advice of the National Assembly. Judges appointed for single renewable 5-year terms. Constitutional Court members, 4 appointed by the National Assembly and 3 by the National President. Members appointed for single renewable 5-year terms. High Court of Justice other members elected by the National Assembly. Member tenure na.
Subordinate courts.
Court of Appeal or Cour d'appel, district courts, village courts, assize courts.
Political parties and leaders. Alliance for a Triumphant Benin or ABT, Abdoulaye Biochain.
African Movement for Development and Progress or MADP, Sifu Fagbehoun.
Benin Renaissance or RB, Lehadi Sobo.
Kauri Force for an Emerging Benin or FCBE, Yei Boni.
Democratic Renewal Party or PRD, Adrian Hambadi.
National Alliance for Development and Democracy or AND, Valentin Aditi Howard.
New Consciousness Rally or NC, Pascal Koupaki.
Patriotic Awakening or RP, Janvier Yediu.
Social Democrat Party or PSD, Emmanuel Golu.
Sun Alliance or AS, Sakalafia.
Union Makes the Nation or UN, Adrian Hambadi, includes PRD, MAB.
United Democratic Forces or FDU, Matharan Nago.
Note:
approximately 20 additional minor parties.
International Organization Participation ACP, AFP, OCD, ECOWAS, Entente, FAO, G77, EA, IBD, ICAO, ICT, ICM, IDA, IDB, IFAD, IFX, ELO, IMF, IMO, Interpol, IOC, IOM, IPU, ISO, ITSO, ITU, ITUC, NGOs, MIGA, MINUSMA, MONUSCO, NAM, OAS, Observer, OAK, OIF, OPCA, UN, UNAMID, UNCTAD, UNESCO, UNHCR, UNIDO, UNMOL, UNMISS, UNOC, UNMUTO, UPU, WOB, Regional, WAMU, UCO, UF2, NGOs, WHO, WIPO, WMO, RUTO.
Diplomatic representation in the U.S. Chief of Mission.
Ambassador Hector Post. Since the 18th of January 2017.
Chancery.
2124 Calorama Road Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20008.
Telephone.
1-202-232-6656.
Fax.
1-202-265-1996.
Diplomatic representation from the U.S. Chief of Mission.
Charge Laura Harubi. Since October 2018.
Embassy.
Corporal Bernard Anani, 01-2012, Cotonou.
Mailing address.
01-BP 2012, Cotonou.
Telephone.
229-21, the 30th of June 50.
Fax.
229-21, the 30th of March 84.
Flag description. 2 equal horizontal bands of yellow, top, and red, bottom, with a vertical green band on the hoist side. Green symbolizes hope and revival, yellow wealth, and red courage.
Note.
Uses the popular Pan-African colors of Ethiopia.
National symbol, S. Leopard. National colors,
green, yellow, red.
National anthem, name,
L'aube nouvelle, the dawn of a new day.
Lyrics/music,
Gilbert Jean Dagnan.
Note.
Adopted 1960.
Economy.
Benin.
Economy overview. The free market economy of Benin has grown consecutively for 4 years, though growth slowed in 2017, as its close trade links to Nigeria expose Benin to risks from volatile commodity prices. Cotton is a key export commodity, with export earnings significantly impacted by the price of cotton in the broader market. The economy began deflating in 2017, with the consumer price index falling 0.8%.
During the first 2 years of President Talon's administration, which began in April 2016, the government has followed an ambitious action plan to kickstart development through investments in infrastructure, education, agriculture, and governance.